Helena Saloon, 1890. Cowboy rides in, crowd cheers, soldiers blamed for trouble. Judge Roy Bean's Courthouse Saloon, Langtree, Texas, 1900, dispenses frontier justice from saloon. East and West shaking hands at Golden Spike, Promontory Summit, Utah, May 10, 1869, unites coasts. Bigfoot lies frozen at Wounded Knee, 1890, capturing the tragic end of Lakota independence. Deadwood erupts in chaotic 1876 gold fever, becoming America's most violent and lawless boomtown. Chinese fishing camp, San Francisco Bay, late 1880s, Chinese immigrants sustain livelihoods despite discrimination. Texas Cowboys by William Henry Jackson, Texas, 1901, portray last open-range cowboys before fences. Geronimo sits with Apache prisoners in 1886, marking the final collapse of Native military resistance. Chief Irontail poses in New York, 1898, carrying Lakota dignity while performing for survival. Sioux performers in Brooklyn, 1898, balance cultural preservation with Buffalo Bill's entertainment demands. Chinese workers carve Summit Tunnel in 1866, blasting granite despite brutal discrimination and deadly winters. Buffalo hides tower in Dodge City, 1878, revealing ecological devastation used to starve Plains tribes. Lakota families gather at Pine Ridge, 1891, during the Ghost Dance's final desperate hope before Wounded Knee. Hydraulic mining in Virginia City, 1871, washes entire mountains away in pursuit of industrial gold wealth. Timothy O'Sullivan hauls massive cameras across the West in 1867, shaping government policy with stark wilderness images. Alexander Gardner photographs rapid Union Pacific expansion in 1867, documenting post-war national reunification through rail. Jackson's Yellowstone expedition of 1871 captures thermal wonders that convince Congress to create America's first national park. Huffman documents 1880s buffalo hunts as the last herds collapse under commercial slaughter. Irwin E. Smith photographs a lone wrangler in 1910, revealing the cowboys' isolated daily reality. Belden records Pitchfork Ranch winters in 1923, preserving ranch life before machines replace horseback labor. Huffman photographs Butte's booming mines in the early 1900s, showing explosive wealth built on daily worker deaths. Pony Express writer Frank Webner, 1861, represents young men risking everything for the fastest mail system. A sod schoolhouse on the 1890s, Nebraska Plains, shows education surviving harsh frontier environments. Sherman Ranch Cowboys in 1902 display skills soon erased by barbed wire and industrial ranching. Jackson's 1885 Ute portraits preserve cultural identity as forced assimilation closes around tribal homelands. General Miles meets Buffalo Bill at Pine Ridge in 1891, blending military strategy with frontier showmanship. Steele's Kansas farm photograph in the 1890s marks the shift from frontier homesteads to mechanized agriculture. Cowboys gather in Old Tascosa, 1907, revealing saloons as social hubs in fading frontier towns. Bill Pickett revolutionizes rodeo culture through bulldogging, highlighting erased black cowboy histories. Mexican vaqueros demonstrate centuries-old horsemanship that forms the foundation of American cowboy culture. Chinese railroad camps in 1868 stretch across Nevada deserts, moving with relentless construction progress. Klondike Dance Hall, women in 1909. Seattle reveal women's economic power in frontier entertainment. Multicultural gamblers crowd Bisbee's Orient Saloon in 1903, reflecting diverse frontier mining town society. A sod school on the 1890s plains shows teachers and children preserving education under extreme conditions. Buffalo Soldiers serve across the West, enduring racism while protecting railroads, routes, and settlements. Trading posts in the 1880s West form essential cultural and economic exchanges across diverse frontier groups. Chinese fire hose teams race in Deadwood, 1888, showcasing immigrant success and civic participation. Altman Studio documents Trinidad's booming coal and rail industries, defining southern Colorado's development. Butcher records Nebraska homesteads from 1886 to 1912, preserving the daily struggle to build prairie civilization. Jackson documents 1870s mountain railroad construction, proving essential to federal survey funding and conservation policy. Wild horse races at Cheyenne Frontier Days, 1907, transformed dangerous cowboy skills into public entertainment. Belden captures 1920s winter cattle work, marking the final era before full ranch mechanization. Irwin E. Smith photographs Bert Killian in 1907, preserving the last authentic day herder traditions. Annie Oakley's 1880s performances shatter gender expectations as she becomes the West's most celebrated sharpshooter. San Francisco's Cobweb Palace in the 1880s reveals eccentric frontier entrepreneurship and cosmopolitan port culture. Jackson's photochrome prints from the 1870s to 1890s document the West's rapid transformation through mining and settlement. Tonopah's 1901 silver discovery launches the last major Western mining boom, reshaping Nevada overnight. Buffalo Bill's 1890s portrait immortalizes the showman who defined global mythology of the American West. Chinese workers finish Summit Tunnel in 1867, enduring avalanches while achieving unmatched engineering feats. Virginia City's 1890s mines extract massive wealth, turning a desert town into an industrial powerhouse. A family in an 1886 covered wagon continues westward migration long after railroads shrink the frontier. Union Pacific's 1867 end-of-track scene shows mobile, hell-on-wheels towns pushing civilization westward. Chinese workers lay the final Central Pacific Rail in 1869, completing the transcontinental link despite exclusion. Cheyenne's 1907 wild horse race marks the shift from working cowboy skills to commercialized spectacle. Belden's 1920s winter ranch scene shows cowboys battling snow as traditional operations fade. Smith's 1907 Texas photograph captures the last generation guarding open-range herds before modernization. Cowboy dances nervously, piano clanged, bullets chewed the floorboards, plains alive. Man fires gun in White Dog Saloon, Fort Worth. Smoke fills the room. Moonlight trails Belle Starr and Sam Starr, ruling border towns with charm. Old Tascosa, 1907. Cowboys lean on rails, saloons shelter fugitives far from law. Steamboat rears. Wyoming's rodeo horse symbolizes grit, dust, and frontier spirit. Pistol flashes in White Dog Saloon. Anti-Saloon League rises to fight drinking. Miles City, 1880. Bob's Saloon hosts herders, freighters, boots up, dust settling. Church basement promises dry land. Geronimo guides Jimmy through heat and dust. Bluff City, Alaska. Miners swap news after cold day at the roadhouse. Before sunrise, Louisiana Road. Frank Hamer traps Bonnie and Clyde in 1934. Summit County, 1890. Weaver Brothers, saloon spiked, whiskey burns throats, tills fill. Snow and lanterns guide stagecoach Mary. Montana Mail runs on time. Winslow's Fashion Saloon, hash knife. Cowboys lean, brand inspires trouble and gunplay. Arizona Road Dust, Pearl Hart robs stage, captured, charmed reporters, later released. Wild Bill Hickok's grave. Calamity Jane rests beside him. Legends share silence. Tombstone, 1881. Earp Brothers and Doc Holliday meet cowboys. Gunfight echoes forever. Langtree, Rio Grande. Judge Roy Bean runs court and bar. Rough justice reigns. Billy the Kid sets down guns, plays croquet, shows calm outlaw moments. Table Bluff Hotel Saloon, trappers swap maps and stories, opening western paths. Apache mother carries baby in cradleboard. Quiet strength defines everyday life. Deadwood, 1876. Gold rush draws gamblers and drifters. Law is thin, luck rules. White Elephant Saloon, Bingham, Utah, 1906. Faro chips, click, miners gamble silently. Jackson's Bar, Idaho. Whiskey fuels courage. Cards, tempers, and pistols escalate quickly. Rail yard lot, miners, merchants, sailors play baseball, towns breathe together. Big Nose, Kate runs saloon, nurses, out-argues, stays loyal beside Doc Holliday. Promontory Summit, 1869. Locomotives touch. Golden Spike unites coast-to-coast travel. Park City, miners lift glasses, piano taps, and small pours start big nights. Lagoon Resort, bartenders polished, locals crowd, holiday vibes in summer glow. 1892. Bison's Skull. Mountain warns of greed as plains bones litter ground. Pine Ridge, 1890. Ghost dance sways plains. Prayers rise for world renewal. Elliott Saloon, Utah. Men sip cautiously, ready to toast or draw guns. April 12, 1904. Imperial Desert Auction sells town lots. Hope claims the valley. April 22, 1889. Oklahoma land rush unfolds, stakes pounded, towns rise, land lost. Calamity Jane leads wagon trains through stars, water, and fear to Deadwood. Bingham, 1900. Miners, women, kids, crowd streets, bars, and boarding houses. Little Bighorn, crazy horse leads fearless charge, river still by evening. Mahakam River, 1898 to 1900. Canoes, rifles, and stories chart untraveled rapids. Hot Arizona sun, crews lay track, immigrant workers carve desert to towns. Dodge City nights. Wyatt Earp pushes gamblers, gunmen, peace holds briefly. Fort Abraham Lincoln, Dakota Territory, 1876. Comanche survives Custer, honored in parades. Tombstone, 1881. Canvas tents bustle. Miners and horses prepare for silver. Utah mining town, 1900. Bingham High Street bursts with saloons, music, and paydays. Gambler standoff, cards, pistols, and bluff in studio setup, late 1800s. Hiddenwood Creek. General Custer commands, scouts bring news, camp feels briefly safe. Wagoner Brewing Company, 1913. Trucks advertise beer, pre-prohibition, flags, and cowboy billboards. Base Reeves, 1907. Deputy Marshal captures outlaws across Indian Territory. Courage proves unstoppable. Summer 1872. Wheeler survey maps west. Timothy O'Sullivan photographs Paiute families. Pytown wagon rescues car. Pony Express once carried mail faster than engines. 1867. Clarence King surveys Oriana, Nevada, maps rail and mining territory. Fort Apache, 1890. Buffalo Soldiers patrol, scout trails, endure prejudice and harsh missions. Diamond Creek. Wheeler survey with native guides rests after forcing boat through canyon. Gold Hill, 1800s. Comstock lode mines bring wealth, schools, rail, saloons. Boom fades. Fort Sumner, 1881. Pat Garrett shoots Billy the Kid. Legend and duty collide. Inscription Rock, New Mexico. Spanish visitor records presence. Centuries later, photograph preserves voice. Fort Defiance. Navajo family weaves, children work. Life continues under encroaching soldiers. Fort Bowie, late summer. Apache leaders sit. Calm photo masks, dangerous road ahead. Bisbee, Arizona. Faro table draws crowd. Chips clink, drink sweats, tension rises. Prairie dugout. American family survives with boots, canvas, earth, water, and hope. Cowboy bar saloon glitters. Frontier learns style while trading dust for cocktails. Morning Prairie. 3rd Infantry drills outside fort. Safety comes from repeated practice. Tilly Baldwin rides fearlessly on single horse, thrills crowds as cowgirl main act. 1895, Arizona. Faro table clicks. Gamblers risk everything. Danger is daily life. Fort Worth Studio. Wild bunch pose for portrait. Bank robberies continue on range. 1897, Black Hawk, Colorado. Miners at toll gate. Bar risk lives. Laws exclude. Dusty field. Annie Oakley shoots cards and coins. Skill rules the trigger. Lincoln County War, 1878. Sawdust, whiskey, pistols escalate. Cassidy crew photographed. Pinkerton tracks. Garbarino House, Colorado. Townsfolk pause between meals. Saloons polish mirrors, earn respectability. Ponca City Arena, Mabel Hackney. Tompkins leaps horse over dinner table. Cowgirl shines. Gilt Edge, 1897. Calamity Jane tips hat, rides, shoots, and cares through chaos. Holy Moses Saloon, 1890. Mineral County's fiddles, cards, and tempers turn strangers to friends. California Sun. Old Wyatt Earp advises movie Cowboys. Last photo shows calm face.